Hey guys, Tina here and welcome to my April in review video in which I will show you briefly all the books that I managed to read in April and sort of update you how I'm doing with my various goals and challenges. Now in April I managed to read 10 books, which is fantastic. That means that I'm ahead of schedule in my Goodreads challenge. I managed to read 40 books so far out of 100. And I'm basically about 9 books ahead of schedule. I'm also participating in Around the World in 52 Books challenge, and I didn't do so well with that one this month. I only managed to fulfill 2 challenges, but I still have time. Personally, I have, my personal goals are to read more in Slovene, more non-fiction and more classics, and I failed in all of those this month. Honestly, I do not even know where April disappeared because I was just reading The Great Gatsby, which was at the end of March, and I feel like I was just reading it. And now we're at the end of April, or already in May actually, and I honestly, this month was so weird. But yeah, here we are. So I'm just going to show you the books that I've read, and I will leave the corresponding videos in which I talk about them below so you can go check them out. So the first book that I managed to read in April was Tower Lord by Anthony Ryan, which is book 2 in his Raven Shadow trilogy that I just adore. This book also corresponds to one of the challenges in Around the World in 52 Books, and that is a book with a really strong female character. Now these books have an abundance of those. And fantasy books sometimes lack, they're more focused on guys, I guess. And I really cannot say that that is happening here. There's so many powerful females, strong fighters, really smart, fantastic, really. Pick this up, really, it's a fantastic trilogy. And then, naturally, I read The Queen of Fire by Anthony Ryan, which is the 3rd book in his Raven Shadow trilogy, and this book also corresponds to one of the challenges in Around the World in 52 Books, and that is a book that has a character that is a royalty, and we do have one of those here. I really love this book series again, so yeah, I'm not gonna talk even more about it. But yeah, so these are the 2 challenges from Around the World in 52 Books that I managed to complete, and that was that for this month. Then I picked up The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertelli. This is a new release, and I really liked it. It was not quite as good as Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, but still, it was good. It is important, so if you want to read something like that and summaries come in, you might want to pick this one up. The next book was Traitor's Blade by Sebastian de Castell. This is book 1 in his Greatcoats series, and it's sort of reminiscent of The Three Musketeers, slightly different. There's magic, which I do not know how it works yet, but yeah, I definitely liked it enough to order the rest of the series, so that should be coming soon, but not yet. And I was sort of fed up with fantasy, so I decided to pick a bit more, contemporary books, and the first one is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. This is a popular contemporary romance young adult series trilogy, and I actually really liked it. I like Clara Jean, I love her sister. They were just she was sort of naive and direct and innocent, I don't know, all of those things, and I really liked her. So yeah, naturally I picked up the sequel then, and that is P.S. I Still Love You, and I liked it slightly less. It's, just things get a bit more serious, and naturally it's not quite the same as the first book because of that. But yeah, I still really liked it, and I cannot wait to get the 3rd book. And then I picked a literary fiction book, which is a rarity for me, but I do have to start reading more of those, and that was We Are All Completely Beside Ourselves by Karen Joy Fowler. This book, well, it was interesting. The beginning was hard for me, but then I really got into the story. As I mentioned in my video, if I knew what the story was about, actually, I probably wouldn't have picked it up because it's a hard topic for me to read or watch, but I do recommend it, and yeah, I definitely want to read more of literary fiction now. Then the next book that I read was a reread, and it was a preparation for the last book that comes out, and as you might guess, it was A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah James, which is book 2 in her A Court of Thorns and Roses trilogy. A Court of Wings and Ruin comes out, or some people already have it, and I'm super jealous. Well, not, because I don't have time to read it right now, but yeah. Still fantastic, I still loved it. It was not quite as emotional and, impactful as the first time around reading it, but I still loved it. Rhysand is still one of my favorite characters. I mean, the minute he showed up, I was just like smiling and really happy. So yeah, it was still a fantastic read. And the last book that I managed to read in April, not the last one, because I always forget ebooks. I did manage to read one ebook this month, and that was Beyond Chain by Kid Rosha. And if you watch my weekly reads videos, you will know that I have nothing to say about that book, but I do want to mention it here. What am I talking about? But yeah, clearly I do not want to talk about that book. But the last book that I did read in April was Age of Myth by Michael G. Sullivan. This is book 1 in his 5-book series, and it's called The Legends of the First Empire. Yeah, so this is sort of a prequel to his Rhaeria, Revelations and Chronicles. You don't have to read those to get to this one. It's fantastic. It's pretty short for a fantasy book. It's around 400 pages. Great book. Great start to the series. I do recommend it. And the sequel comes out in July, so you don't have long to wait if you decide to pick this one up. So those are all the books that I managed to read in April. I'm pretty surprised actually by the amount of books that I managed to read, because as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this month was just here and then it was gone, and apparently I read in between, which it's great. I do hope that this month turns out pretty good as well, although I feel like there's going to be a few weeks in between in May that I'm not going to be reading that much, but we shall see. Anyways, let me know down in the comments how you're doing with your various goals and challenges. Are you keeping up, or are you falling behind? What's going on? Let me know. And thank you for watching this video, and see you in my next one. Bye!